Hi, welcome to LeatherUp.com. In front of me I have the Arai helmet line, and specifically the Arai CTZ helmet. What I'd like to talk to you today about the Arai CTZ helmet is why this is a great helmet for you and answer any questions you may have on this helmet. So the CTZ helmet is Arai's traditional three-quarter style helmet. It is an open face helmet with the visor on the top, which is removable, so if you don't want to have the visor look, 2 screws on the side, the visor comes off and you're good to go. Let me tell you a little bit about Arai, the factory. Arai is a traditional owned Japanese company, and their level of quality through their company is second to none. They want to make sure that they are producing what is the best helmet out there and the safest helmet out there for you, the rider. Let me tell you a little bit about how they do that. Arai are completely handmade helmets. There's not a machine. These don't run down an assembly line and are punched out, bag mold, and down through the process. These are actually handmade helmets. There are only 8 Arai technicians right now that are building all of the Arai helmets for the world. So these are very busy 8 guys. But quality is there. They want to make sure anything coming off of their station before it's passed on to the next meets the highest levels of quality possible. Because bar none, a helmet is basically a piece of safety equipment. Yes, they're fashionable, they've got cool graphics on them, they're out there, everybody sees them, they're on top of your head, but they are much like an airbag. They're designed to save your life. So Arai's only concern is energy management. What's going to happen in the event of a crash? So I'm going to talk a little bit about crashes. I don't wish to crash on anybody out there, but I want to let you know what Arai does to manage that energy in the event of a crash. So take the CTZ helmet for instance. This is a three-quarter helmet, so it does have an open face. The visor, the vents, they're all meant to break away or come away from this helmet. Like I said, it is a hand-laid shell and is passed off to the next guy. So Arai in the shell process actually chops the fiberglass. It's blown into a machine that creates a random matrix. So now all this fiberglass that's been chopped interlocks itself much like a bird's nest. It makes it very, very strong, very rigid on the outside. And if there's a hard enough impact to actually fracture that shell, it's only going to typically fracture at the point of impact. There's no seams for it to follow. It will fracture, and then it's designed to move that energy out across the shape of the helmet. Arai uses a very smooth, round shape. And the reason they do that is because they want this helmet to glance along on the asphalt. They don't want anything big, obtrusive, that's built into the helmet that could grab an edge, cause rotational force. You fall off your motorcycle, you have velocity behind you. Last thing you want is something to catch and twist. So Arai makes their shells very smooth, very round, and that's designed to transfer that energy and to glance across. In the case of the CTZ, you have a big visor on the top, you've got some ventilation on top. These are all taped on. It's double-sided tape. It's not going to come off. It's not something you need to worry about these vents falling off. But in the event of an accident, they're designed to tear away so that they do not cause a rotational force. They will get out of the way, allowing this shell to glance and move across the ground. Second form of energy absorption is the EPS liner. Now on the inside of the helmet, it looks beautiful. There's nice foam padding. It's very comfortable. But what you can't see is what's behind the scenes. The EPS liner in a Arai helmet is a multi-stage EPS liner, meaning they're using a softer density where your head needs it and a firmer density where your head can take it as well, allowing the velocity to be consistently absorbed inside the helmet, not transferring that energy to you, the rider. There's basically 2 ways to design a helmet. You can use a soft outer shell, something similar to a polycarbonate or something on that aspect, but in order to compensate, you need to run a very hard inner liner or EPS liner. Arai's theory is exactly the opposite. They're going to make a strong outer shell that can keep the harsh elements of the world out, and then use a nice soft EPS liner inside to manage the energy that's transferred to you, the rider, because that's exactly what you're going to feel is the energy that makes it to you, not the energy that's out there in the world. We want the shell to deal with that and let the liner deal with what's happening with you. Okay, so that explains a little bit of Arai's philosophy and why Arai helmets are Arai helmets and the level of cost is where they are. So let's get to the inside. Arai is one of the most comfortable helmets out there on the market. The padding is very plush, very comfortable. It uses a sweat wicking material which helps draw that moisture off of your body out into the liner where the ventilation can then help that moisture evaporate, dry up, get out of there so that it's not up against your skin, it's pulling it out into it. So we need to get airflow into this helmet. Obviously, we've all been on our motorcycles on a nice hot summer day. Man, the more air, the better, right? So Arai does a very good job of managing airflow. There's two big vents on the brow here that can be opened up, and those actually vent to two large ports on the inside upper part of the forehead area and really pull that air into your forehead and start to channel it through the ventilation system. Also on the top of the Arai helmet, now with the CTZ having a big visor on it, which I said is removable, so if you don't want to run it, you can take it off. But on the bottom side of that visor, if I turn this helmet this way, you can really see, or I put my hand through here, you can see how much air is going to travel between that visor and the actual shell of the helmet. Why that's important, anything that gets too close to the helmet is really going to act as a shovel and really grab that air and start to give you a lift effect and want to really pull the front of that helmet up. So Arai has done a very good job of displacing that air that moves through the visor system here and getting it up and over. Plus, we need to direct that air to these vents on top. If you look at the top of the helmet, you have three big ports. Quick, easy snap. They open, they close. These are pulling a lot of air in and helping to evacuate the hot air on the inside of the helmet. Also, if you look at the back of the Arai helmet on the CTZ, those big diffusers have a very large port back here. Those are very easy. They're a quick little open, close. You run them open, no big deal. That's going to help create, basically as the air comes off the back of this, help create a vacuum back here so that it helps draw the hot air out. Because we're forcing cool air in, we need to get the hot air out of the helmet so that air flows through and keeps you comfortable. So these large diffusers are designed to, one, get the air out away from the back of the helmet so that it doesn't spool up behind the helmet and give you a lift effect, and create a vacuum back there to help pull that hot air out. Same with the diffusers down on the bottom side as well. They're a raised diffuser, so as the air rushes past, it creates a vacuum, helps pull that air out. And then you've got a neck roll diffuser as well, which helps pull the air that's remaining in the helmet out through the neck and keep that air flow through. Shields for the CTZ helmets, there are a few options. Please check out the website for those options, but you can run a light smoke, a dark smoke, a clear. You can run, I believe they make a pin lock for it as well, so if you're called out in the elements, obviously being an open face helmet, you shouldn't have any kind of fogging or anything like that. But the shields are very easy to replace. There's two screws on the side here. This plate comes off, the visor's then detached, and you can take the visor off, put the new shield on, put the plate back on, and you're in business and down the road. So CTZ helmet, great 3/4 helmet with all of the qualities that you would expect out of Arai. There are a number of different colors and a number of different sizes, so please be sure to check out our website at LeatherUp.com to find the color and size option that best suits your needs. Thanks for watching and enjoy your ride.